With great power comes great responsibility, which doesn't exist in Hollywood because the people in it don't believe consequences are real or could ever happen to them. That's until the feds kick in the doors. There is a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding about the world of Hollywood and celebrity. It's understandable because you know it's a world full of lies, manipulation, and deception. But the problem is, there's not a lot of accurate information about how they are lying, manipulating, and deceiving you. There's a lot of conjecture and conspiracy theories, but I get it. It's hard to follow and keep track of all the lies, manipulation, and deception while trying to connect the thread, especially if you haven't studied or worked in the entertainment industry. Because I have, let me burst Hollywood's bubble for you. A role model is a person looked to by others as an example to be imitated, and in reference to Hollywood, it is their business model. In previous episodes, we've established that celebrities are empty vessels for grown adults to profit from, and they typically are recruited as children or on the cusp of adulthood. Turning 18 may legally make them an adult, but the maturity isn't developed where they can fully comprehend the way people and our world works and what they're getting themselves into. That's what our 20s are for. They take young impressionable minds, create an image around them of their choosing, and use them to influence other young impressionable minds to idolize and aspire to be them so they can spend their or their parents' money on anything that is attached to them, helps them look like or become them. It's a business model that hasn't changed since its golden age in the 1920s. It's actually grown and expanded into other forms of entertainment, such as sports and social media, who have also become celebrities and used this method to monetize their popularity. When something is done with ill intent, it's always going to backfire. When you create artificial standards, prop up individuals on pedestals they themselves are unable to stand on, and prey on the public's insecurities to idolize and worship these people to turn a profit, it's naturally going to create negative emotions within people and make it a very hostile environment for them. Most notably, envy and wrath, although lust might seem harmless when it feels like love, but when it morphs into stalker and stan culture, that's dangerous waters. There are people who will feel envy and wrath and not like celebrity or celebrity culture, but there are others that will be enamored and allured by it. When it fades, and it always does, they are left with resentment. Because it's not hard to see and feel the disingenuousness of it all. Honestly, people are right in just to feel the way they do, because how dare they try to exploit you and make you feel bad or insecure about yourself when you probably wouldn't have felt that way had it not been for their celebrity and their culture. However, it is understandable if you do feel sympathetic and view celebrities as victims. Like I said, most of them are children or lack the maturity to understand what they're getting themselves into on their celebrity journey. Instead of going through life like the rest of us and figuring out who we are and our place in the world, they are molded and shaped into a made-up person, held to an impossible standard, and bred into a culture that only knows how to sell. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they believe in. They don't know how to be genuine. They don't know how not to sell or pimp themselves out. It's all they know. It's how they make their money, by following the role model playbook. Some of them are truly sociopaths who cannot crumble and excel at it, perpetuating the culture. But there are others who succumb to all the pressure and fall apart, becoming drug addicts, alcoholics, and sometimes end up losing their minds completely. Who can blame them? Dealing with the negativity from the public is hard enough. But when there are peers who either know or understand why they fall apart, distance themselves, gaslight and reaffirm their craziness like their handlers. It makes it far worse.
I was drugged out. I was on opioids. 2 days after I got off of opioids, and I was addicted to opioids, 2 days I got off of opioids, I'm in the hospital. I had plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all. Because I didn't want y'all to call me fat like y'all called Rob at the wedding and made him fly home before me and Kim got married. And there was talks amongst my camp, like Ye's popping pills, right? So when he handed this to me, he said, you know this is used to kill genius, right? So I didn't take it. 2 days later, I'm in the hospital. I was taking 2 pills a day at that time. When I left the hospital, how many pills you think I was given? 7. I went from taking 2 pills to taking 7. And I'm not drugged out. These pills that they want me to take 3 of a day, I take 1 a week, maybe 2 a week. Y'all had me scared of myself, of my vision. So I took some pills so I wouldn't go to hospital and prove everyone right.
However, they are all not victims. It's true that Hollywood does attract people who are naive and don't know any better, but they also attract opportunists and scummy people as well. Once a narcissistic sociopath, always a narcissistic sociopath. And I would argue they are a breeding ground for them since they recruit them so young and raise them in their culture. Back when studios still had control over their stars, they had partnerships with the DA's office, politicians, police officers, and the press. If a star had a problem, they would call the studios to use their connections to cover it up. And studios would go to extreme lengths to cover up their star's debauchery. Although the studios aren't necessarily calling all the shots and have the same power like they did 65 years ago, the same practices still exist and it's used by other powerful entities in Hollywood to protect their human bank accounts. With the rise of celebrity came the rise of tabloids. Stars were no longer profitable to just the studios. They became even more profitable to the press. What can I say? Witnessing their destruction was far more enjoyable and entertaining than witnessing their success. And studios had to learn the hard way. After one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood, Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle, was accused of assaulting and murdering a woman at his Hollywood party, which he was innocent, but still found guilty of and acquitted of after his third trial, studio executives weren't going to take any chances and be held financially liable for their star's debauchery ever again. The morality clause was born. And it worked, and they were able to detach themselves from their faces with very little repercussions, and it's still widely used today. And it's not just Hollywood using it to keep celebrities in line. Corporations and brands are hollow. They don't have a face. Their public image changes as the public views on the world changes. Their stance is and will always be attached to what generates them profits. Nobody knows how to get with the times better than them, no matter how ridiculous or illogical it is, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have existed for as long as they have existed. It really is a shame, because if they had morals, integrity, and ethics to begin with, they wouldn't find themselves constantly jumping through so many hoops to begin with. But when you reduce people to idiots devoid of critical thinking, what do they expect? Because corporations and brands don't have faces, they hire celebrities that align with their image to be their faces for them. But it doesn't come without a morality clause. It is the leash that keeps them in check and holds them accountable for their behavior. Not that their behavior is any better, but this series isn't about them. Celebrities wear many faces, and it's hard to detach them to truly know who they really are. And I question if they really know. In most cases, it's either given to them or they just make it up. If they're not putting on a face or channeling an alter ego, they were or are coached to act accordingly whenever they engage with the media and everyday people to make and keep them profitable. It's a very homogenous belief system in Hollywood where there is a culture of supporting everything and everyone, not out of a sense of morality, but to not be offensive to people out of fear of losing opportunities or breaching the morality clauses. Which ultimately separates them from reality, because when they stand for everything, they stand for absolutely nothing. People are paid to borrow clothes to dress them and buy clothes to create styles for them. It's someone else's. The songs you know and love, the characters you know and love, comes from their creators. Just because they relate to it or connect to it doesn't mean it's authentic to them. Much like Confessions Part 1 and 2. They were Jermaine Dupri's lived-in experiences, not Usher's. But we believed they were Usher's when we heard them. That's the problem. Who the F are these people for real? What do they actually stand for? What do they believe in? What artistic integrity do they have? Because none of it is authentic to who they really are, even if they believe it is. They're just following the playbook. So it's enough to question, who are people looking up to and what are people actually standing? There's a lot of people on the internet talking about parasocial relationships and celebrities.
Parasocial relationship.
Parasocial relationship.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationship.
Parasocial.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationship.
Implying that the relationships celebrities have with their fans are one-sided, and it's only the fans who extend emotional energy, interest, and time, and a celebrity does not, because they are completely unaware of the other's existence. That's not true, at least not for all of them, especially with the invention of social media.
Winner, winner, winner.
Thank you for letting all these motherfucking hoes know.
And I'm gonna let them always know.
Good. Because I don't think they know. Now, how much is your
We
seafood
gonna let
boil?
them.
How much is your seafood?
Over here is usually like $40.
40 what? Okay, I'm gonna give you $40.59. I live vicariously through my fans. When you guys go to school, that makes me so proud. I don't think y'all get it.
I got a few of those people here today that you actually donated money to.
Really?
And they want to say thank you in person.
Oh my God. You guys, I love you so fucking much. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. I really freaking love you and appreciate you. I know it's late, and I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Did you guys eat? Wait, okay. Wait, you guys, we need to get them some food. Wait, no, but honestly, you guys, someone, can we please seriously make sure I get some food for them real quick? Cause someone get some food. Did y'all get their food? I didn't forget.
You guys, look who's here.
Work is work. Get to fucking work.
With the one and only queen.
Don't think they're not reading their comments and going through their fans' posts and profiles. What's done in private and without your knowledge is still an action that's occurring. Just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean it's not happening. What it really is a transactional relationship where there are constant or sporadic exchanges coming from both sides. Fans can exist if celebrities don't engage with them, and they don't have to know them personally to know they exist because they are very well aware they exist. Who are they making their music for? Who are the concerts for? Who are the films for? Who are the shows for? Who are they spending hours, days, and months rehearsing to perform for? Who do they do interviews and discuss their lives with the media for? They know their demographics, they know who their target audience is, and they know who supports them. They may not be best friends, but it's clearly not a one-sided relationship.
I started playing guitar when I was about like 13, maybe 14 years old. And the first song I learned how to play was Mine. And just how much he's inspired me to be myself.
That's awesome.
Oh my God.
I always see your Twitter handle and I'm like, that is clever.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Do you know my name?
Yeah, Shannon.
Oh my God.
It is the connection they have with their fans that allows them to be able to sustain themselves so they can continue to do what they do. They feed off of their fans like their fans feed off of them. However, it does not mean that elements of the relationship are not manufactured or exploitative, because they are. And sometimes, almost always, they are entirely. But it still takes two to tango, and fans are just following the lead. It's misleading and unfair to place the blame on fans and call them deranged as if they put it upon themselves. Hollywood has built a system exploiting people's deepest desires and insecurities with celebrity for over 100 years, and it's extremely effective, which is why they still do it. Celebrities are not victims, which is why you should be very careful what you put out into the world, because it will come back to you. And that's exactly what's happening to them. A stan is poor unfortunate soul that is exploited by Hollywood's star system for money, and they have no clue about it or refuse to acknowledge it. It's sad, but true, because they really want to believe, and I have sympathy for them. Humans have made the world a terrible place to live in, and we all need an escape from the constant negativity. We need hope, and that is what celebrities represent to many people. Aspirational figures, role models who stans can see themselves in and make them believe they can have the life they sold them. What people fail to understand is that stans vicariously live through celebrities. Although their obsession is unhealthy and their actions may come off as questionable,
What's your name?
It generally comes from the naivest parts of their brains and the purest parts of their hearts. Stans truly want the best for the celebrities they stan, even though it doesn't always translate well to the people thinking, well, they don't know these people. You're right, but try to look at it from their perspective. They're not immune to the illusion like you and I are. So we can't fault them for simply not knowing how it all works. But if they do, and they continue to stan, well, it's their business. After all, their trust and belief lies in the celebrities they stan, so it doesn't matter what you or I say. But don't feel too bad. Remember what I said earlier? You should be very careful what you put out into the world because it will come back to you. Stans are a celebrity's karma, not just a blessing, but a curse. Stans may fill their pockets and come to their defense when they're in need, but exploiting their fans comes with a hefty price. And that price is they will never know peace. And because they'll never know peace, they will resent them. And resentment turns into hostility coming from all sides. There's a constant exchange of hate and negativity between them, and it's not healthy to anybody involved, which is why it's important to set boundaries. Everybody would be better off if they set boundaries for themselves. Celebrities should keep their private lives private and separate from their public identity. If you don't want to smoke, keep it to yourself or actually try to be a respectable human. People close to celebrity shouldn't allow their celebrity to dictate their lives and should really start to make themselves a priority. Stans and fans should really just stick to appreciating the art and not the person. And really need to stop bullying and doxing people that disagree with them. Chill out. It's not that deep, I promise you. Ex-stans and ex-fans should just move on. You've already spent enough of your time devoting your love and appreciation to them. Why devote any more of your time hating them? And finally, haters, stop hating. And if you must hate, let us know why, no matter how petty it is. For all we know, it might just be informational or at least funny. Nobody's gonna get mad or argue with you if you give them insight or make them laugh. I know I won't. No matter what religion or faith you subscribe to, you have either heard and been taught it's forbidden to worship humans, and for very good reason. When you worship humans, you're liable to get exploited, and understanding this lesson can help protect you from getting hurt and taken advantage of. We're all imperfect beings, and celebrities are no different. They can and will do wrong, and they do it all the time. It's just the nature of the business, and it's important for all of you to know and understand it to avoid getting caught up in the predatory business model that is celebrity. By design, it's only meant to hurt you and extract from you, not to empower you to be the best you can be for yourself and the people you care about. And if they don't have any art, you really need to exorcise those demons out of your life. For over 100 years, celebrity has literally made people hate themselves, and it needs to come to an end. It's not healthy for anybody, not even the celebrities themselves. Our minds, bodies, and spirits aren't something to be toyed with and manipulated at our expense. They should be nurtured and cared for. At its best, that's what art does for us. But it's time you start separating celebrities from their art, only allowing the art to remain, if you haven't already. Nothing is aspirational about it because it's not real. Celebrities only exist to exploit you. They are not role models, they never were, and they never will be. The more you know.